War is the ultimate expression of human evilness. Throughout history, humans have confronted each other in an act that is so evil and so disgusting we must speak out to abolish it. First of all, I want to just say that we need to change the way we think. And when I say we, I'm also talking to those of you who have manipulated and used your power to create and manipulate wars and violence in the world to profit and gain from it.
Long, the drills to build the machine to turn men from flesh and blood to steel, from paper soldiers to bodies on.
We need to change the way we think. We need to stop our obsession with money and power and material things. We need to stop being so simple-minded. I see it all the time. People competing against each other about who has the best car or who has the best house or TV. I see it all throughout society. It's like a cancer destroying us internally. People comparing clothes or comparing the latest fashion or who earns the most money. All this creates separateness in us and is stopping us from seeing each other as equals. Most people today, they work so hard to earn more and more that they forget how to live life. And they think life is just about earning more and more. And from an early age, we are told that in order to have a good life, we must go to school. So we spend all these years trying to do well at school, then to university. So eventually we could have a good job with a good income. So everything is driven by greed. And self-gain, which turns us into these slaves of the system where everybody is just minding their own business in this pathetic life, trying to earn more and more, never being truly fulfilled, never realizing that true happiness comes from giving, it comes from having friends, it comes from family, it comes from loving and sharing and bonding with others, not from having a bunch of materialistic stuff and a fancy car. I mean, a flashy car doesn't bring you true happiness. This is all a bunch of Hollywood fantasy. So we need to stop being so fake. We need to go back to being real human beings.
Now, help for Libyan rebels from the CIA. President Obama reportedly signing off on this. Sources say CIA operatives are on the ground in Libya and in contact with the opposition.
And joining us to talk more about the CIA's possible role in Libya from Washington, former CIA counterterrorism analyst Michael Scheuer. Michael, thanks for being with us this morning.
You're welcome.
So there are Libya contacting and vetting the rebels. Is this setting the stage to arm them?
I don't think there's any other possible reason for it. Is probably made up by people elsewhere we would call mujahideen. And so it's a dicey proposition to be getting involved with this. I'm not sure that the opposition, if it takes power, is going to be much better than was Gaddafi.
Alternative, if we don't arm the rebels and they're clearly outmanned and outgunned by Gaddafi's forces, what's the better solution here?
The better solution was, as Mr. Paul said, never go at all. This was none of our business.
You know, you led the CIA's unit that tracked Osama bin Laden 1996 to 1999, and you believe that, much like that situation, America's involvement in Libya could prove to be a recruiting tool for extremists. Why?
Oh, it's absolutely a recruiting tool. It's the American-led West attacking a Muslim country that has
They've
oil.
been very careful to say it's not the American-led West, that NATO has now fully taken over the operations.
Well, that
yes,
may
our
fool-
firepower was used in the beginning, but that this is a coalition that includes Arab states.
That may fool some Americans. It's not going to fool the people who sympathize with bin Laden and other Islamists. This is really a U.S.-led operation. And you talk about the Arab states that are involved. The Arab states are tyrannies that are hated by their own people. This is a piece of theater set up by Mrs. Clinton and Mr. McCain and the bipartisan group that loves to intervene abroad. In the Muslim world, this is Americans killing Muslims again, and it looks like it's for oil. If we were supporting Islamic democracy, that would be one thing, but if you listen to Mrs. Clinton and especially the rather crazed Ms. Rice at the UN, this is all about democracy in a world where democracy is not going to take hold.
I think it's very clear, Michael Scheuer, that you are no fan of this policy and this administration. I think calling Ambassador Rice crazed is certainly a significant charge.
Well, I don't know. I've just listened to her. You know, that's only my impression. And I have to say, this is not a Democratic problem. This is a Republican problem, too. Both parties love to intervene in other people's business where there are no U.S. interests at stake and where we spend enormous amounts of money at a time when we're nearly bankrupt. That doesn't seem to me to be a wise practice of American statesmanship.
And that's a whole other story, that to call the United States bankrupt, the United States is running humongous deficits, yes, but the economy and this mission in Libya are two separate issues.
They're not separate issues, ma'am. You're just carrying the water for Mr. Obama.
I'm certainly not carrying anyone's water, and I will assure you of that. Michael Scheuer, thank you so much for your time. We've had a very long, exhaustive interview. You had plenty of time to give your point of view on that. We're going to be right back. It's 38 minutes past.
Thanks, Michael.